And then today we're going to talk about updates to StayFi's newest product, which is called StayFinder, if you're not familiar. And then we're going to be covering not only the latest updates, but what StayFinder is, why you should participate, and then what the roadmap looks like in the near future so you can know what things to expect and what you should be doing in your StayFi account to prepare for how StayFinder works and the benefits that it's going to bring to your business that are all included with your StayFi account. So nothing we're talking about here is going to cost any extra. It's just included in the benefits that you already have as a StayFi customer, which is super exciting. So a little overview today, we're going to talk about StayFinder, what it is, how StayFinder is powered, so how we are leveraging our reach across tens of thousands of vacation rentals to build this new booking experience for guests, which I'll talk all about. Then we'll talk about the new things we recently launched, and then go into a little bit how to make sure that you're set up in StayFinder correctly so that people that are looking to book your properties can find you and book you on your website, and then what's coming in the near future, and then, of course, plenty of time to answer your questions. So why did we build StayFinder as a business? And then I'll show you what StayFinder is if you're not already familiar. Is we wanted to help people to be able to book vacation rentals directly with short-term rental operators without the need for an OTA, to build the best meta search platform that exists out there so that you can find the most direct bookings as most direct listings, and not only that, show you the price comparison between that listing and the price on an OTA. For StayFi users, what's so great about this is basically up to this point, StayFi has been very much focused on helping you get your existing guests to come back and book you again directly or refer you to somebody else, which is very important. StayFinder is the first way where we're basically allowing people who stay at other rentals in our StayFi network to then come and find your rental to book directly. And this is so important because so many of you operate in areas where people don't come back that often, maybe once a year, maybe only once every few years. And this way, by participating in StayFinder completely, you're basically going to unlock the ability for more guests staying at our other customers to then find your listing and how to book you directly versus through an OTA. And that way we can all work together as a community. So the idea behind StayFinder is really to leverage our power as short-term rental operators to build a community where we are working together to promote direct bookings across all short-term rentals. And that's just going to help everybody in the industry become less dependent on Airbnb, Vrbo, Booking, etc. So how does StayFinder work from the perspective of a booker? So you can search on our website in any destination. Right now, we're primarily in the United States. We are going to now slowly start expanding internationally. There's still a few things that we need to add. We have some currency updates we need to make that will make StayFinder even more usable outside of the US. But right now, primarily US destinations. And what we do is we return to the person that's looking to book every single listing where we can match an Airbnb listing with a direct listing and as well as return the prices for those. Uh, the inventory on here extends beyond just StayFi customers, but what we've done is if you are a StayFi customer or you are a StayFinder member, which I'll talk more about, your listings will always be first in the search. So we're delivering as many results as we can, but of course we're always favoring those people that are working with StayFi, obviously. And then there's some other features here. So we're going to be adding additional pages for all of our users so that you can be more easily discovered. We do also have a reverse search from Airbnb. So if someone has an Airbnb listing, they can put it into the search and see if they can find the direct site. And so I'll just give you a quick little example here. If you want to go to stayfinder.com, you can check it out yourself. We have some suggested destinations here, but of course you can enter in any destination you want. So if I want to go to Palm Springs, I put in the date search, and then I will return all of the listings where we can find a direct match with pricing. And what you can see here is we have two listings available in Palm Springs that are from StayFinder members. So those are the preferred partners. And you can see here the Airbnb price and the direct price. And when you hit view deal, we take you directly to your direct booking site. So we're not trying to be an intermediary or a middleman or do the booking. We're just delivering guests to your site. And based on the dates they put in, we will fill in your booking engine as much as we can with this information. So again, you can see here, and it's nice to even have their own little price comparison widget, but you can see it again here. Um, and then you can see below there we have featured partners. Those are just StayFi paying customers. They're not yet StayFinder members, and I would love for them to become StayFinder members. So you can see here we have a ton of results where you can save directly versus an Airbnb, which is awesome. So people will want to come back here again and again to find listings to book. And then you can see here over here is the reverse search as well. So you can paste an Airbnb link in here and see if we have that listing to book directly as well. And then the way that we're driving more bookers to come and book on StayFinder, this is where you guys all are very important in the process, is you can opt in to be a StayFinder member. When you opt in to be a StayFinder member, what happens is when a guest logs into the Wi-Fi at your property, in addition to in addition to opting into your email marketing program, they also are opting into the StayFinder email marketing program. And then StayFinder will start sending them a series of emails and then a weekly newsletter encouraging them to come to StayFinder to book their next or to find their next place to book directly. And because you're helping StayFinder grow by sharing your guest data, then in return, you're going to always be in the first position for all of the search results. And then there'll be more benefits for StayFinder members going down into the future, which we'll talk about in a little bit. And the idea is the more folks that opt into StayFinder, the more everybody who is a StayFi customer and StayFinder member will benefit because more people will learn about booking directly as opposed to going to an OTA to book. And StayFinder will be the best way for you to go and find places to book directly and save. So here are the newest things that just launched with StayFinder. And the first one, I would definitely recommend that you download and try out for yourself. We also launched a Chrome extension. You can see we just launched it. We only have 225 downloads so far, but it's growing pretty quickly. What the StayFinder Chrome extension will do is it will also show you the direct booking price when you are on the Airbnb website. So if I do this search again, I will open an Airbnb link and show you how that works. Just make sure I have it turned on here. Now, obviously, like sometimes it's hard to find any with direct booking price because right now we only have about 5% of Airbnb's inventory matched. So I'm sorry I did not find one in advance for you guys. I'll come back to that in a second. But anyways, we launched the Chrome extension, so definitely go and download that. Then you can go look up your own listing on Airbnb and see if you see the savings. It should look like this on the website. Sometimes Airbnb changes a few things on their website, and then we have to change the Chrome extension to correspond to what they did. So that may need to be happening right now. And then, of course, we also launched priority sorting in the search results, which is definitely the most important thing. So now when you search in a destination, if you are a StayFinder member, as in you are opting in to share your guest data with StayFinder, your listings will appear first and they'll be called preferred. And then if you are a paying if you are a paying StayFi customer and you don't feel confident yet in sharing your data with StayFinder, which I totally understand, you'll still appear higher than everybody else and you'll be a verified. So first will be StayFinder members, and then StayFi customers who don't want to share their data will still be higher than the rest of the listings and they will be called verified. Um, so reasons that you should want sign up for StayFinder. Obviously, number one is you will appear higher in search results, which I just talked about. It's definitely the most important benefit. The other thing that we'll be launching very soon is when somebody looks for an Airbnb listing, if we do not have a match for that listing, if you are a StayFinder member and you have a similar type of listing, we will suggest your listing. because most of the time, about 90 to 95% of the time, there is no direct listing equivalent for an Airbnb listing. So when people do search for that listing, if you have a similar type of listing, we want to feature those that are members. And then the other huge benefit is we are featuring our StayFinder members in email marketing. And obviously, those emails are going out to hundreds of thousands of individuals that have opted in, and I'll show you what the growth looks like in a second. And then there will be more and more benefits coming, which I'll show you in a second for StayFinder members. So more and more reasons to opt in and share your data with us because that's going to grow the community the fastest. This chart shows you all the benefits. So on the right here, preferred partners, those are the people that are opting in to share their data, and I'll show you how to do that in a second. You can see here you'll always be priority one in search results. You'll be featured in our emails. We will be launching the similar property if we can't find it in Airbnb, so you'll be suggested there. And then one other thing that may be coming, depending on your PMS, that's going to increase conversion, is we can basically place your direct booking widget or experience from your property management software and just plop it into the StayFinder experience. And that way they don't even need to leave the website to complete a direct booking with you. So even when we have integrated checkout, it's not going to be our checkout, it's going to be your checkout on our website. And that way they're still booking directly with you, but just it's going to increase conversion by making that process even simpler. Um, so more and more benefits, obviously, to opting in and sharing your data. If you don't want to share your data with us, which I totally understand why some people would not, you will still be a featured partner. So those are free, those are StayFi customers that are paying StayFi. Obviously, you will be priority two in all the results. And then in the future, we'll have more and more people who just sign up because they want to be listed in StayFinder and have control over those listings and get analytics. Those will be verified partners. So those are just people that have a free StayFi account. So if in the future, let's say you decide that you don't want to use StayFi paid services anymore, you can still keep StayFinder. You're just going to be downgraded to verified partner from featured partner. So obviously tons of benefits for being a preferred partner and more benefits are going to be coming soon because that's really, really want to focus, making sure people that are sharing data with us to market to those guests are getting the most benefits possible out of the platform. Um, so just to give you an idea of like what will happen to your guests when you opt in to StayFinder is when you opt in on your splash pages, we will add this StayFinder member little tag at the bottom to all of your splash pages. And this just gives you an idea of kind of what the emails look like that your guests will be receiving. So we definitely don't want to like interfere with your marketing. So we send these separately later once they've opted in, and we just show them primarily different examples of different properties and how much they can save by booking directly. So here we're featuring a house in Joshua Tree. Here we're featuring homes in Austin. And we basically look across all of our StayFinder members and we pick based on who has availability and very good delta between their Airbnb price and their direct price. And that's how we pick to feature specific homes. So there's no like super spelled out process yet. In the future, we'll definitely become more uh, diligent to make sure we're featuring everybody that we can. But right now, we're really just looking for great properties where we see a big delta or savings by booking directly, because that's obviously going to encourage people to come and look at the website, perform their own search, and find somebody to book directly with, which is the objective here. Just to give you an idea of how many people are opting into StayFinder as guests. So right now we have about 160,000 subscribers to our StayFinder newsletters. By the end of the year, we think we're going to be over 1.5 million guests into our email newsletters that we're sending out every week. So definitely getting on StayFinder now, you're setting yourself up to getting a lot of exposure as we continue to grow the community, get more options opt-ins for StayFinder, continuing to grow that guest list, so that we can get these properties in front of millions of people. And then obviously, as the list grows, it will start becoming more segmented. So yeah, as you can imagine, based on where guests stayed and what their interests are, we're going to start sending different newsletters to different people. And that way we can also feature more of your properties and feature them to the types of people that are most likely to book you. Right now, because the list is still relatively small, it's one newsletter a week. That's pretty standard, sharing a variety of different savings to get people to come and be interested in finding listings to book directly. So I'll show you here how to make sure your listings are correctly represented on StayFinder, and then also jump into the account. So right now, if you go into your StayFi account, there's now a StayFinder section. And there's two pieces here. Number one, obviously, I would love for you to opt in to StayFinder. This means that you're going to be upgraded from verified, or you're going to be upgraded to the highest tier, to the preferred partner above featured and verified. So your listings will appear first, and then this means that your guests will also be opted into StayFinder marketing. Opting in will just make sure you get the most exposure and that we grow the platform as quickly as possible, which is going to benefit everybody involved. And then on the listing tabs, this is where you will see all your listings. And this is where you can make sure that all your listings are accurate and that we have all of your properties there. So what you'll see here is there's two fields that you need to fill in if they aren't already filled in. One is the link to your Airbnb listing, and the second is the link to your direct listing. For the direct listing, it can't just be your website, it has to be the actual booking page for each one of your listings. So that's one thing I've seen people make mistakes with is they're putting in like their overall website, or they have like two pages in their booking funnel. One's like an overall page, and then the other one links to their PMS booking engine. We want to be at the PMS booking engine level, or on your if you have like a direct website built by a third party like Realtek or IC&D, we also can work with those pages, but it just needs to be that property details page. So just make sure that you're using the direct listing URL. And then once those are updated, if we don't already have them, you'll see these processing, and then they will, in a week or so, turn to green, and then you can click on them and you can see each one of your listings in StayFinder that we create for you. So just make sure that you have all of your listings filled out here, and that way all of your properties will be there. Some users, just depending on what information we had from you already, you may find that we have some of your properties, but not all of them. So just make sure you go through all of the properties here and that we have every single one here. The other thing is if you have a listing, we can do listings that aren't in the US. They just need to be the .com URL. So if you have listings and you're in Canada, don't use .co.ca or .co.uk. I think it's just .ca. We don't use .co.uk. For now, if you do have listings outside the US, make sure that you use the Airbnb link for the US website. Just because we want to get the data in dollars and it has to be from Airbnb.com. In the future, we will support non-US Airbnb links and we will do the currency conversion. But for now, just make sure you put in the .com version, and we will launch your listings even if they aren't in the US. And for now, for instance, I got a question about Cancun. Because we haven't scraped Cancun and added listings there yet, like when someone searches in Cancun right now, like you will be the only listings there. So that is the one nice thing, is because we haven't officially expanded. If somebody does make that search, which they can still do, you'll be the only listings in that place, which will be pretty nice for you. So I definitely would recommend, add your listings even if you're not in the US. Just make sure you use the .com address. And if we are returning uh, an amount that's off because we can't convert your currency yet, that also will be fixed in the very near future. So those are two things that we're working on right now to make sure that we can support non-US destinations. And you can see here in this example, once you complete Airbnb.com direct booking link, the way that you know the process is complete, it won't say updating or processing. You'll see this link on the right. That link will take you to your StayFinder page. And I didn't show you here in the search, but every single listing here has a page where we generate this page based on information from your listing on your direct website and your Airbnb website. So if you click those links, it will take you to these pages. If there's anything inaccurate here, right now you can't edit them, but you can let our team know at support and we will fix it for you. Again, something else coming in the future, you'll be able to edit this page on your own and adjust any of the information here. And then again, you can see the Airbnb link and the Book Now link, as well as we pull in your reviews from Airbnb as well. And this property has awesome reviews. So congrats to APEC Rentals. And then the other thing is if you integrate your StayFi account with your property management software and you've imported your properties from your PMS, depending on your PMS, we are able to get some of that important StayFinder information automatically. This gives you an idea, depending on which one you use, what information we're getting. So if you use Hostaway or Hostfully, for instance, we're getting both your Airbnb URL and your direct URL. If you use like Hospitable, it's just your Airbnb URL. And if you use Guesty, it's just your direct URL. It's a pretty common one a lot of our users use. So just give a heads up if you've imported your properties from your PMS or connected them to your PMS. We have tried to get as much information for you on your behalf to create all your StayFinder listings, but you may need to fill in more information just because certain property management software don't have endpoints for that data. You can take a look here. So if you're one of the ones with both checked, like we should have all the information for you as long as your properties are correctly connected. If not, you may need to fill it in. Also, if you have properties where you don't use StayFi, but you use them, let's say, in some properties and not in others, you can still go into StayFi and then go to add properties and then add your properties from, let's say, I have Hostaway connected here. Even if you're not using StayFi there, by adding your properties, we will then make sure we update your StayFinder information. So if you have like 20 other properties not with StayFi, just add them to your account from your PMS, and then we will update based on your PMS the data that you have there. And that way you can add additional properties without having to type everything in manually, and you're bringing them in from your PMS. You can also do that from this page as well. So just a heads up there, that's an easy way to add the rest of your properties if you aren't using StayFi there. And for now, if you have some listings where you are paying for StayFi, we will grant all of your listings that higher level tier status as a paid customer. So just another benefit there that you should be aware of. Yep, so preferred status, definitely check this box. And that means also we'll get more guests into the email marketing program, and that way more people will then discover your listings as well. And someone just asked how payment is working on the StayFinder listing. Yes, as I mentioned before, there are no costs for StayFinder, and we are just directing traffic to your website for people to book directly. So no costs for StayFinder, etc. Really, the goal of StayFinder is to make the StayFi product even more valuable for you. Because in exchange for being a StayFi customer and sharing your data, your listings will be promoted higher on StayFinder, and we will help you get even more direct bookings, right? So we want StayFi to help get you not just direct bookings from your existing guests, but get you direct bookings from other guests that stay at our other customers. And StayFinder is how we're going to accomplish that. So you really can think of this as just one additional benefit that you're getting for being a paid StayFi customer on top of the other features and products that we have. Really important things that are coming in the near future. So next quarter, this is very important, we will be launching booking analytics. Right now, all we can see on our end is the traffic we send to your listings and to your sites, and even that we haven't exposed to you yet in the portal. But obviously, we need to know how many bookings that we are sending to all of our StayFinder members so that you understand the value you're getting out of being not just a StayFinder member, but also being a StayFinder customer. I mean, StayFinder member also being a StayFi customer. So we are working with integrations with all of the different PMS that will allow us to report direct bookings through, coming from StayFinder. Depending on your PMS, there might be slightly different flavors of how that's accomplished, but we definitely want to let you know if you're getting bookings from StayFinder and how many to attribute to that source, which is very important. We will be launching independent review collection. This is going to help StayFinder really succeed also on search engine and people Googling your properties by having unique content about each of your homes that is there. Also, we're going to be a much more review-friendly platform for operators, which I think will be lovely for you guys. So essentially, by building these great property pages and having a bunch of unique content and reviews, when people Google your property's name, more likely that our StayFinder listing will come up, and then they will be directed to your site to book. And then we have a bunch of additional pages that are really for search as well as to feature your brands. So all of our StayFinder members, so folks that opt in, they also will get a property management page on StayFinder where you will see all of your properties listed there along with all of your reviews. So we'll aggregate all that together and you'll become a featured property manager. So it'll just be one more way to basically be discovered by folks. And then some additional things is if you're a StayFinder member, we're going to have cart abandonment emails as well. So if anybody looks at your StayFinder listing and starts the process, we can also send them a automated one-to-one email letting them know about advantages of booking you directly. And then if your PMS supports it, we really want to do integrated PMS checkout on the StayFinder site. So they will still be booking directly with you. We will just remove some steps from that process, and then hopefully that will increase the conversion rate and folks that are booking directly with you. So here are all the things that you need to do to make sure that your listings are featured on StayFinder accurately and that you are getting the most out of the platform. Number one is ensure all your properties are imported and connected to a PMS. So if you have properties that are missing, or you don't have all your properties in StayFi, or you haven't never connected a PMS and we're just making properties manually in StayFi, make sure you import all the properties you have, whether you use StayFi in them or not, and make sure they are connected to your property management software. That might take a few hours to update the fields I showed you before, like these fields, Airbnb listing, direct listing URL, that may not happen instantaneously. So just give it a little time. Then you want to come back, make sure you opt into StayFinder. And then on the second page, ensure that the listing URLs and direct listing URLs are accurate. And then again, for certain property management software, we can't get your Airbnb listing or your direct listing URL, depending on which one you use, some both, some just one. So then if you are using one of the property management softwares where we don't get one of these URLs, you're going to have to unfortunately manually paste it in for all of your listings. So that is something that you'll need to do. We may have gotten it through other means, but just double check that they're all accurate if there is something there. And then, of course, we'll be sending out more updates as additional StayFinder features are launched, particularly analytics, super important, obviously. Knowing how much traffic we're sending to your site and if you're getting any bookings is very, very, very important. The other thing you may want to do is you too can opt in for StayFinder email marketing by going to the StayFinder website. So I believe it is, I know we updated the site, so now I don't know where we put this form. Yes, if you go to the About page here, you can add your email here on stayfinder.com. And this way you also will get the emails that we're sending to all of the guests, so you get an idea of what kind of marketing we're sending. And then also I would encourage you to download the Chrome extension as well and check that out and see if it's working for your listings on Airbnb as well. So here are some just common questions before I get to the other common questions here. Is StayFi selling data to competitors? No. So when somebody goes through this process, they're only opting in for email marketing from two parties. One is you, and the other is StayFinder. If someone opts out of StayFinder email, it does not impact their opt-in to your email marketing, whatever tool you're using, StayFi or not. Is there a cost using StayFinder? No, I discussed this one before. There is no additional cost as part of your StayFi subscription. Next quarter, you'll have the ability to edit your listings, so all the actual property details page. If you find anything that there's inaccurate or wrong, please email support@stayfi.com and we will fix it. How does StayFinder get prices and availability? So right now we are scraping your direct booking site as well as your Airbnb listing to get that data. That's totally permissible and legal because it's all data that's not behind a login. So all the Airbnb data is public and we can go and fetch that. There are many other people that fetch that data and use it for other things as well. And in the future, we'll be adding Vrbo and Booking as price comparisons as well. Just a heads up there. If your listing does not have a price, like we can't get the direct price from your website, there are still some direct booking sites that we have not built a scraper for. So that is still forthcoming. There's like some smaller ones, as well as some PMSs where we can't do that yet. We're adding more of that. For right now, we show an estimated price and we assume like it's 10% cheaper, which may or may not be true, but we make it very clear it's an estimated price. So hopefully they will go to your direct site and check. Unfortunately, if you have like a proprietary website that you built on your own, we're probably not going to be able to scrape that for a long time, and we'll have to get the pricing from your PMS, which is something that we'll be doing in the future. So most people will have pricing, but if you don't, it may be for those reasons. How are we creating the listings right now? Essentially, what we do is we feed your Airbnb listing and your direct listing into Claude, Anthropic AI, and then we use that service to generate a net new listing. And then we have a bunch of prompts to make sure everything is accurate, although it is possible that something we did or it created was not 100% accurate. That's one of the reasons why probably StayFinder is only possible today as opposed to a few years ago is we really need generative AI to like produce all of these listings in a way that is usable and scalable. So it's pretty awesome that we can do that now. Um, StayFinder getting the reviews. For right now, we're just pulling in Airbnb review data. In the future, we will add direct website reviews as well as other OTA reviews. Can I opt in and out of sharing my data? Yes. The default for all StayFi customers is you are opted out. So you will need to go into your account and affirmatively opt in if you want to be a StayFinder member. Then finally, what are the benefits of using StayFinder? Number one, you will be listed first in all of the search results in your destinations. So you will definitely get the highest click through and conversion rates of everybody in the platform. And also, if you just think for the better good of the entire short-term rental community and StayFi customers, by opting in and sharing your data, you're getting exposure to everyone else's data. So the more people that opt in, the faster we can help everybody become less dependent on OTAs. And I will just point out as a reality, like all of your guests that stay with you are always going to go look on an OTA anyways when they're booking the next trip. So I don't really think you're losing out on much. It's not like they're not going to discover your competitors anyway in other places, right? And if they love you, they're going to book you again. Really, you can think of this as, you know, just a place that's even a little bit more of a walled garden where people are going to find only great property managers that you can book directly with. So we're kind of removing all of the Airbnb only inventory from the equation. So no Airbnb only inventory on StayFinder. You need to have that direct booking match with a better price to be listed. And then the last thing I'll just mention here is one thing that could make your listing not appear high up on StayFinder is if your direct price is more expensive than your Airbnb price. So that is kind of one of the implicit promises of the platform is that as a booker, we're going to show you better pricing. I have seen scenarios where for certain ranges of dates, the Airbnb pricing is worse, but then in others, for other reasons, with other date selections, it's better. Often because you have some additional like length of stay discount for Airbnb bookings alone, or some like additional discounting that Airbnb is doing on top of your like rate structure. I've seen that come up a few times. So definitely just check and see if your listings are um, if the price is really better. So that's kind of like the one scenario where we actually won't feature your listing is like if we do it and we find the price is worse on Airbnb, then we obviously don't want to show that to people that are searching because that will like make them not want to come back to the platform. And that's obviously very, very, very important. Um, Okay, so now I will answer all of the questions here. So let me just scoot back so I can help answer a few of these. So let me just kind of refresh the tiers and what they mean. And this language is new, so even I got a little confused here. So someone asked, Holly asked, what does featured partner mean? So featured partner means you are a StayFi customer that is paying, but you have not yet opted into being a StayFinder member in the StayFinder part of your StayFi account. Once you opt in to be a StayFinder member, you will switch from featured partner to preferred partner. So the order is preferred partner number one, featured partner number two, verified partner number three. Verified partner is you have a StayFi account, but you are not a paying StayFi customer, and you've used it to just set up your StayFinder listings. I answered the question about Mexico, answered about payments. Someone asked about uh, how often we will be reaching out to guests, um, and how this affects SMS marketing. All great questions. For now, we are doing every week. The opt-out rate and spam rate has been very, very, very low. And of course, this email does not affect anything you're doing with your own email marketing. So we're not emailing as you, we're emailing as StayFinder. And if they want to opt out of StayFinder, they can, and they will still get emails from you. Right now, even with weekly emails, we're still staying very low on both opt out and spam complaints. Um, in the future, again, as the list grows, I think our options for folks will increase. So we will do more targeting based on where they stayed in the past. So if they stayed in a ski destination, we'll email more about ski folks, and if the beach destination, beach folks, and vice versa. As well as there's a lot of email marketing programs once they get to a certain size. When someone wants to unsubscribe, they can like change their frequency of emails. So I think we may also integrate the idea of as a subscriber to StayFinder emails, you will be able to adjust like if you don't want to hear from us every week, you can hear from us less often. Right. So as the email program grows, it's going to become more sophisticated. Also, if this doesn't impact SMS marketing at all, and we're not doing SMS marketing right now as StayFinder, so we'll have no impact on SMS. So at the end of the day, like if they opt out of StayFinder, it's not going to impact your email marketing, and it's not going to impact your SMS marketing. So those two things are completely separate. Someone asked, I look for my listing and can't find it. I am a preferred member. Can you help? So number one is go to the StayFinder section and make sure your listings are here on the right with the links to the actual listing. So as you can see in this example here, for the listings that are completed, you should see on the right the links to go see that listing on StayFinder. So if you want to go look at your listing, you can click on this and it will take you to that listing and you can go look at it. The thing is, if you can't find your listing and you have selected dates where it is available, well, first I would go to this listing and see if you can like get the prices to appear there. The reason that it might not appear in search is we may have something wrong with our like geography tagging. So Sandra, if you could email support@stayfi.com and include the link to your listing as well as what search you are doing in StayFinder, like the dates and the destination, that will definitely help us fix any issue that you have there. So support@stayfi.com, let them know your listing link and the search you're doing, and then we can definitely help fix that. And then we have one more question about how my property is doing on StayFinder. See my conversion rate. So as I mentioned before, next quarter, we'll be launching booking analytics in the StayFinder platform. So right now, we don't have that data available for you. Next quarter, we will be launching that, and you'll be able to see how many people view your listing, click your listing. Depending on your PMS, we will know how many people approximately have booked. The booking is not an exact science because whether we use a pixel or a UTM code or look at who booked your listings, right? It's hard to get 100% attribution, but we will do our best to get the most attribution we can to let you know which bookings most likely resulted from StayFinder. But we definitely will know how many people viewed and clicked your listing. That will be 100%. Bookings is a little more squishy because people go across platform and it's not always 100% sure. If you do have a tool like Google Analytics that you are using, we are sending all of the traffic with UTM source StayFinder. So if you do have Google Analytics, you can go see right now the traffic and if any bookings have been placed if you have e-commerce enabled in your Google Analytics as well. So that will be in your Google Analytics, but our own analytics that we will be showing you in the StayFi dashboard in the StayFinder section that will be coming next quarter. But great question there. Those are all fantastic questions. If anyone else has a question, feel free to add it now. Okay, if not, thank you everybody for attending today. StayFinder is still pretty new, so I appreciate your patience. If something like search results is not appearing or anything like that, please let our team know at support@stayfi.com as we want to fix any bugs or issues you're finding with the StayFinder experience. And then obviously we will keep you updated as the platform continues to grow. I really encourage you to opt in because that's going to allow StayFinder to grow as fast as possible. And that way we can really start moving the needle and driving more direct bookings for everybody on the platform, which is the goal. So you can think of us all working together as StayFi users to break, the OTAs have on us even faster and build this into a platform that can deliver repeatable results for you, which is definitely our 100% objective with all of this. So everybody, thanks again for joining, and I will see all of you in 2 weeks where we'll be talking about a new topic. And we have some really cool things coming with some new products we're launching towards the end of this quarter, which I'm going to be very excited to show you in our next session. So thank you, everybody.